So, before we begin the review, you guys deserve an update because the last 15 days have been insane. I had COVID, and it sucked really badly. And so in that time span, I had a full week planned in my life because I just turned 23 on the 21st, and I was really excited to go see Post Malone live, hang out with a bunch of friends. And I did that after sitting in my household being very sick, and I didn't get any videos done of my Halloween special, and I didn't get to see any type of new releases the past 2 weeks. So I had COVID, and I was still recovering, and I sound like I have a cold right now, which is basically what I have right now because I keep coughing. And the last 6 days have been just hanging out with friends, chillaxing, and mentally being sick and very tired. So, yes, I miss things, but we'll get to that someday. For now, let's talk about the best zombie movie ever made.
In 1979, George A. Romero brought us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all time, Dawn of the Dead. Now, an all-new dimension of terror has been added to the ultimate zombie masterpiece. George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead is now in 3D.
So Regal Cinemas are showing this movie on big screen 3D right now, and I was pretty excited to see this movie on the big screen because I never got to do that before, but I wasn't really excited about this 3D format because I cannot tell you last time I saw a 3D movie. And I'll tell you this, even though I love this movie, let me go ahead and just give you a brief review of this 3D. For a 1978 movie doing real 3D, there are really awesome 3D moments. There's moments when they just walk around talking where you feel like you could put your arm around them. There's good 3D surrounding. I will say, though, when they are far back like this and they're talking from distance with everything, it looks really blurry, and I have motion sickness, and when there's a lot of moving around and there's a lot of blurriness, I got dizzy. So all I'm going to say is, if you're a 3D fan, you might really love this movie, especially if you're a fan of this original movie. But I will say that 3D, I wish I could just seen it in regular 2D. Besides all the 3D talk, let's talk about this masterpiece of a zombie film because George A. Romero gave us this movie 10 years after Night of the Living Dead, which is a major classic, obviously. And when George A. Romero came back to Dawn of the Dead, this movie was something that he truly got all of his friends to come and do. I believe he's from Pittsburgh. I think they filmed this in Pittsburgh because if you look at the behind the scenes stuff, George A. Romero and his crew of people, Tom Savini, a really young Tom Savini, all got together, made a zombie movie with a bunch of just townspeople. That's what this was. Seriously, look up behind the scenes. It is awesome to watch and to know because you look at the research of how George wrote the script in a 3-week span because an Argentino production company wanted to produce this movie for Romero. And if you look up the research of this movie, there's 4 different cuts of this movie. I cannot tell you which exact title I saw tonight. I truly believe it's just the standard US release version. I don't know what that's called. So I think it's called the Romero cut. It wasn't the Argentino cut. It wasn't the extended cut because it was like a 2 hour and 10 minutes. So this was the Romero cut. And watching it tonight on a big screen was so cool because if you know me, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan back in the day, and I'm a huge zombie fan. I love zombies. I love that subgenre in horror movies. I think they are honestly could be so creepy and scary, and when they're running really fast, it's very scary because the remake of this movie is actually pretty damn good and made me scared of running zombies. But the original 1978 Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorites because of just the complete satire, goofy, cheesy this movie is, while also being very scary for a zombie film. And I'll say it right now. Yes, Tom Savini even says it. The zombies are blue. They are blue people walking around. It's a little stupid. But they even say in the behind the scenes, yeah, they're blue. We didn't mean for that to happen. And that sucks. But I can say, for just an eerie vibe of a movie being set in this mall, I think it works. Overall, I love this movie. I could talk so much more about this movie, but my sickness is hitting me hard right now. And I can say this, with even the classic bong music that everyone loved in this movie theater. When that started in this movie, everyone in the theater kind of like got jittery. You could feel it. When Tom Savini came on screen, people got a little jittery because everyone knows who he is. There was probably like 20 people in this movie theater tonight, and I had a great time watching this classic on the big screen. I love this movie. I love the satire. I love the comedy. I love how cheesy it is. I love the zombies. I love the music. I love everything about it. My only little issue, really, is the pacing. It takes a minute, like 30 to 40 minutes for them to get into this mall, and then when they're in the mall, it takes probably another 40 minutes for them to clear out this mall, and by that time, you're an hour and 40 minutes in, and the last 30 minutes is them basically defending / escaping the mall. There's not a lot in between, and when it is, it's very slow paced talking editing that's not the greatest. The editing during the zombie scenes and the action scenes, very nice stuff. Dialogue and cutting between breathing moments, not really the best, but overall, 1978 Dawn of the Dead is a classic. I'm gonna give Dawn of the Dead a B+. Classic, really, that's all I can say about this movie. It is a classic, classic, classic. And yes, even for a B+ movie, it seriously might just hold the title of the greatest zombie movie ever made. Seriously. Like, there might be zombie movies out there I give A+ to, but this is the greatest zombie movie ever made. I can almost guarantee you to say that. And a lot of horror fans will say this. They'll say this is one of the top 10 horror film of all time. Like, that's how big this movie is. I love this movie. I love it to death. And I'll still give it a B+. I love this movie, though. And guys enjoy this review. And I'll see you guys on the next one, hopefully.